Hello, 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 and welcome. That's what I was trying to say. Noofs and Noofettes. This is the very first channel that we're ever going to post. Very first channel. Oh my god.
Great start. Great start.
Oh man, the beginnings of infamy.
Yep.
Or infamous beginnings.
Yep.
I'm tired. Anyways, this is the very first video that we're ever going to post. How exciting is that, Bim?
Very exciting.
Very exciting.
Or
and
exciting, as you might say.
Be exciting, as one might say. And for our very first video, we've chosen a prequel series. This is from, spoilers alert, the quarterfinals of the winners bracket of Bracket D at the recent IEM Katowice. And it's between two of our favorite players. Losira, who I think is probably Ben's third favorite player, maybe? Where do you think you would rank him?
I don't know. He just hasn't won anything in so long. It's sort of hard to stay. There was a point at which he was like one of my favorite Zerg players, and I still like him, but it gets kind of tiring that he just is kind of irrelevant. But I like him.
Yeah, and the name change is weird.
Yeah, that was kind of weird
for a while. Anyways, and Trap is one of my favorite players, and so we're gonna grace our channel with the play of these two wonderful human beings.
Yep.
So it's gonna be best of three. First game, obviously on Backwater. Kind of a funky beginning, but nothing too weird. We've got the pylon black from Trap, forcing Losira to build his second at his third base.
Yeah, usually a Zerg on smaller maps, you do a 16 hatch instead of a 17 hatch to sort of avoid that problem. Oh, but this actually was a 2 hatch before, or 3 hatch before pool that Losira ended up going for. I think Trap didn't quite realize that, or maybe he would have put more effort into blocking it. Or I guess the probe got kind of low on health, but yeah, so that's not usually how you respond. Typically, you either just sort of get a late hatch first, or even go for a pool before hatch. But yeah, so with the 3 hatch before pool, Losira is gonna be able to kind of make up for the economic loss that you get from the delay on the first hatchery. And because of the structure of this map, it should be easier to defend than it would be on most maps.
Yeah, I was about to say, I wonder if he went for the 3 hatch before pool just because he's on Backwater.
Yeah,
you don't really get stretched on that third as easily.
It's possible that he could have been intending to go for that the whole time. We don't really know that, whether that was an adaptation or not. Meanwhile,
absolutely.
We see some Adept coming out, and that's getting chronoed across the map, so get a little scouting information. It's sort of the discussion for Protoss whether you move out with 1 Adept or wait for 2, because if you do the 2 Adepts, then you can actually do damage with it, really. Whereas with 1 Adept, it's pretty hard to do that. But I guess you get the earlier scouting information with the 1 Adept, but there's not too much to scout, given that he knew it was 3 hatch before pool.
Yeah, I was about to say, the earlier scouting information is a little weird, considering he should know everything that's up. But it might be a style thing. It might be one of those things with, oh man.
He's not going to survive, I don't think. Oh, unless...
Slippery Adept. Oh, is he going to make it out? Oh, he actually is. That's amazing.
That Adept should not have survived.
Yeah, I would have lost that Adept in about half a second.
This is a lot of Zerglings.
One of the many reasons I'm not as good as Trap. Yes. I wonder if for Trap it's just he likes...
Do you think that if you could figure out how to keep that Adept alive, you would become as good as Trap?
Yeah, I think that losing that scouting Adept is the only difference in quality of play between me and Trap. Yeah.
This wall is not complete, and there's a bunch of Zerglings.
Yeah, but he'll see it with the Adept.
Speed's going to be pretty late, so it shouldn't make a huge difference. And the Oracle's coming out. Okay, so he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's going to... Well, he got that Phoenix before the Oracle, which I actually like because...
Let's see, where's the Phoenix?
The Oracle doesn't really do any damage anymore.
Yeah.
It's really just a utility thing, so by getting that Phoenix out earlier, you can start killing Overlord slightly earlier and delay some scouting. And then you still have the Oracle to zip around. He's actually going to get a second one, I think. Can you check the units tab real quick?
Oh, it's supply blocks.
Just to make sure that I'm not... Oh. There you go.
Your analysis is correct, but you've overestimated Trap's macro mechanics by a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough. As I was saying, again, that scouting Adept only difference between the two of us.
Yep.
This Phoenix is going to probably not be able to get that Overlord, right? Got the Queens there. Yeah. Yep. Just going to be a little hit squad. You can pick up the Queen,
one drone.
zoom in with the Oracle. Again, very little damage done with the Oracle, but that's fine. He can run around and tag things for the rest of the game. That second Oracle is an interesting move because at this point, after you went for the Phoenix before either of the other 2 Oracles, they should be pretty set up. But I wonder if it's one of those things that you park it like to the left of their main and then wait for their army to leave and then you try to come in.
Maybe, or he'll just do the whole, lift up the Queen with the Phoenix, because if you lift up the Queen and there's just a Spore Crawler, you can dive and get like 6 drones or so with 2 Oracles. And that's a pretty healthy amount of damage.
it's one of those things where like the marginal damage added by an oracle is higher for the second oracle than the first one.
Yeah.
It's similar to like when a Protoss gets a shield battery because it's almost like the first oracle does the damage.
There's
that
the
shield battery
adepts are in the
deals.
main, and there's nothing here, so this is going to actually do a lot of damage just from the
Yeah, this is
adepts,
super-
and
he's even
the
gonna
oracle's
pull the
coming at the same
drones.
time. Yeah, he just doesn't
The
have any
lost
links
mining
here.
time. The lost mining time alone is pretty annoying for Losira. He's actually going to lose. It looks like 5 drones. Oh no, he gets his 4 collar down. So it
there's
will
the 5th
end
drone.
up being 5. Yep.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
and it
there's
dies.
some Stargate units up at the top.
Yeah,
but it looks like
he
they're
decided
gonna
not
be
to go in with those for some reason. I would think that now, I guess going in now, but we want to do that beforehand at the same time.
Yeah.
Lift up the queen. A little late
Absolutely.
a little late on the lift on the queen, and I don't think he did as much damage as he could have. Oh, now he gets a few more. Okay,
No,
so
but he's
all-
going to
yeah.
basically even up the worker count. Yeah. Zooming out of this game real quick. So it's backwater, which means trap. Nice. Taking a step back from this game real quick. And I would like you to know. Oh my God. I would like you to know that I did literally just step back from the screen.
Okay. We also step back in the replay, so.
Yes, yes, I know. I didn't even really want to acknowledge it and give you that validation. But Trap got a third, which on backwater is really, really easy to do.
Yeah.
Losira's not going to do anything in punishing. He's actually just going to pump even more
And
drones.
there's the 4th coming out, and we see the
grab his
Hydra
4th as
again,
well.
the Hydra range, +1 attack.
Yep.
Not melee, so he might be going for a little... Okay, yeah, the lurkers. So
Yep.
this is sort of a debate you see in ZvP, where you have 2 options. If you can go for more Ling-Baneling centric and get +1 melee, or go for the more Hydra centric, get +1 attack. And in that case,
Yeah.
you definitely want the lurkers. We see the lurker den has already been revealed, so Trap knows exactly what's going on here. You can see him start the immortals that he's going to need in great quantity to deal with these. Charge is almost done. Archon's being made. Actually, is that an Archon drop? Let's see. Where is this work
that's a good
prism?
question.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Ah, that's cool. I love those. He'll probably get a queen with this and then be able to hop back out real quick. Oh, is he going to get 2 queens? Oh, that is...
No.
Oh, no. Not quite. Losira's on the game. He knows what's up. Yeah, so Trap is getting... he's just going to go charge that Archon with a ton of immortals. Adding on that second robo facility even just to try to counter the lurkers.
I wonder if he'll eventually add some disruptors, because those are a sort of later game option to help against the lurkers too. But at the same time, it seems like Protoss often prefer to just keep it simple and just build like 20 immortals, because those are very good.
Because
the
the
Storm
immortals
coming
are just...
out, obviously.
So immortals are just insanely strong.
Yeah, the nice thing is, so Storm kind of plays 2 roles against the lurkers. So for one, obviously, being AoE as it is, you can just storm the lurkers and do a decent amount of damage to them. But that observer not having a good time. Arguably, more importantly, is that when you storm, you can force back the Hydras and the Zerglings off the lurkers, which helps a lot to sort of keep your army healthy while you go forward and kill them.
Yep, absolutely. Because if you if you're having your zealots run into lurkers and hydras, they're just going to die in absolutely 1 second. Oh, nice little force field, by the way, to save that probe.
Good
I like
control
that.
there.
That's a cute move.
4th.
Yeah, that's one of those little details that his nexus would be 10 seconds later if he didn't hit that.
Yeah.
Another Archon drop. He's actually getting pretty annoying about this. There's no mining happening at the 3rd base, and this is probably Losira's best saturated base.
Yeah,
on the
5
map
drones
right
going
now.
down there. Losira now only on 60, now up to 70 workers. So not really the worker count you want with this. You can see this 4th base has very little mineral saturation, and he'd be much happier if he had more like 80 drones and the ability to start a 5th base now to deal with the 4th base that Trap is getting. So Losira still does. Oh, this is actually quite bad for Trap, losing that work prism with 3 zealots or 4 zealots, and at the same time we actually see a big Overlord more. So it looks like there's going to be a Hydra Lurker drop into the main. So this is going to get pretty exciting.
Yeah. So 2 quick things before the drop. So those Archon drops are helpful because they stop mining and they kill drones, but they also beat back creep. And you saw him doing that a little bit, but neither of us mentioned it. So you bring the observer along with the drop, and you'll see that Losira's creep is about as good as mine would be without the Archon drops. And then also another quick note, just that Warp Prism is mostly about map control, and
but
losing it means that now Losira can be active on the map. He can do things like set up drops.
And against units like lurkers, those Warp Prism counterattacks are very important. Okay, so there's no mystery here as Losira brings the revealed Hydras up to meet the Overlords. So we should see some more pins of units in the main. There are 2 Phoenixes that'll help a bit, and some Stalkers. So we'll have to see if this. Yeah, so Trap knows exactly everything that's going on. Ooh, losing those oracles not good.
Yeah, I would expect Trap to actually just recall.
Yeah, ooh, this
because
is not
I'm
a good
not sure that the
engagement
warp would be enough. Oh, that's good job to back out, because
Oh,
that could have
very
been
good
absolute
control there.
destruction.
Killing that. Okay, we've got lots happening. Actually, it looks like he's not going to have enough to hold the main here.
Yeah, he didn't recall, and he just relied on the warpins, and it looks like I guess he was hoping that the Phoenixes would be able to gun down the Overlords in time, but things are kind of falling apart for Trap. Where is his army? Here it is. He's going to be able to clear out these lurkers, I guess, but at the same time, his main base is being ravaged. He lost all of those buildings at the front of the natural. He's probably going to lose this Robo that's making an Immortal, which is going to severely hamper, obviously, the Immortal production going forward. Losira, on the other hand, lost a bunch of lurkers and some Hydras. Wow, he's still in there. That is so annoying.
Yeah, the Zealots are going to be, Troglodytes are going to be very efficient, but in just that small number. Oh, this Archon, he killed the Archon, but okay, that's not going to get out of there, yeah.
Yeah.
He could have killed that Archon. Okay, so taking stock of this, right? A lot of damage went down. Did he ever rebuild the Cybercore? He lost the Cybercore, he lost a Robo, I think. He said he lost a bunch of units. And he's now down a fair amount of supply. He does still have 4 bases and a reasonable work count and reasonable tech. Okay, there's the Cybercore, and the Dark Templar could be a potential comeback mechanism here. But yeah, that lurker attack did a lot of damage, and we now see that he's sort of continuing that up. But what he doesn't have is a hive. So that transition, just sitting on, some basic upgrades, but he's not going to be able to make that hive transition, get the, the lurker speed, or work on like Broodlords or something. So that's going to sort of put some amount of a block on what he can do here.
Yep, man, Trap actually almost lost those 2 Archons. They were kind of separated from the army a little bit. And actually, okay, so he does get a storm off with that High Templar. I was worried that he was going to lose that High Templar before anything even started. Grabbed some Hydralisks with the...
These lurkers are not quite...
Yeah, I guess they're going to just siege the 4th base while this Hydra army does damage.
Yeah, but,
there's not a lot to get for him there. Oh, he's going to eat a storm too, so that was pretty ugly. Oh man, another storm.
So much
just that one Archon can hold off all those damage.
And the lurkers just get jumped on by the Immortals and die. This is not great army control here from Losira.
This is a huge loss for Losira. It actually looked like he kind of had Trap's army pinned down in that one area by the Hydras, and it looked like the lurker siege was going to work, but he moved command to the Hydras, and then the lurkers just got cleaned out immediately. 2 free Archons is nice, though.
Yeah, the Immortal count is only at 5 right now, which isn't incredible. Oh, there's no detection here, though, is there?
Oh. All right, well, all these Hydras are going to die.
Yeah, well, Hydras are about as fast as I guess the Dark Templar are faster.
Yeah, for some reason I just assumed he would have Blink, but I guess not.
Dark Templar Blink?
Yes.
Yes, the very standard Dark Templar Blink.
Well, you never know. So he's rebuilding that second Robo facility.
Yep.
Continuing with his upgrades. Still doing the Immortals. Most of his army, it looks like at this point, is just Immortals. He's got that weird little hit squad with one Dark Templar, 4 Immortals, and 1
I think that was
Observer.
an Archon that just died there.
Oh, yikes. Okay, so the storms obviously are going to be very important. That's a
storm.
Wonderful storm. Stasis Ward goes for naught. This is a really weird fight because he's basically just got High Templars on the left and Immortals on the right. Immortals are actually pretty terrible against Lings. Literally, these 3 Lings are soaking up a lot of hits. There's a bunch of cannons here, but 1 Immortal goes down. Now there's 2 Immortals left, 1 Immortal left.
Oh, these storms are so good,
We'll clean this up. This has been a weird game because it feels like neither player has really amassed an actual normal army. We just have these skirmishes in the middle of the map.
And Losira still hasn't even taken a 5th base or gotten, an infestation pit or anything. So he's sort of, he actually just taps out there. I don't think that was over, but I guess Losira, being so heavily committed, decided that he couldn't really work it out against the superior tech of Trap here.
Yep, absolutely. I think probably a turning point in that match was the losing the Hydras in the middle of the map and all of the lurkers.
Yeah, and just those storms just did so much damage. There was, I think he could have, but potentially won if his Hydras hadn't just sat in all these storms the whole time.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go on to game 2 and see what happens next. So as we load up on the Neon Square, oh no, wow, I'm blind. For some reason I thought there was a spawning pool first from Losira.
Yeah, that 5-second spawning pool build is really strong.
I don't know. You never know. As I'm watching his base and seeing that that's not happening. I wonder if Losira is going to go for that fast 3-hatch before pool.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to see if that was a backwater specific adaptation. If he isn't planning on it, Trap's proxy pylon will obviously play out differently. Not proxy pylon. Pylon in the natural.
Yeah.
I wonder if that is something. By the way, could you update the score?
Sure.
That pylon is something that. I wonder if that's something that Trap does basically every game in scripts. It actually looks like Losira's gonna.
Yeah, you can't. Well,
so
this is a bigger map, so you can't block a 17 hatch with a pylon scout on this map, unlike the last map. So there's no need to do the 16 hatch here. I don't think he's going to go 3 hatch before pool. This is not a great map for it because we don't see that because you'd either take the hatchery out here, which is pretty exposed to attack from over here, and you also have to defend your natural over here, or if you take the the backdoor hatch, you don't have enough mineral patches to really get that explosion of economy that you want to Zerg.
Mm-hmm.
So I think good standard opening here from both sides. It looks like there's the Nexus from Trap that you'd expect. You get a Cybercore fairly soon, and just getting lots of workers on both sides. We'll have to see if there's any sort of Ling aggression. This isn't a great map for it because you can actually see the main has this gap here, so you can't quickly elevator Lings into the main with a slow Overlord like you can on a lot of other maps. You'd have to I guess you could try back here, but so I think I strongly suspect that we're just going to see a slower macro game this time. Kind of like
and
last
then obviously, from Trap's perspective, we're just going to see the Stargate, probably Phoenix, and then Oracle again.
Yep.
If he did it in the first game, I'm pretty excited for the Overlord drops change to come so that we can see some build diversity from Protoss.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's pretty well scripted at this point.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that will lead to build diversity?
Ooh, I'm not good enough to be able to say.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess the question is, because the Oracle still, there's still Ling floods at the front, for example, which are going to be still somewhat tricky to defend without an Oracle there to help. And I guess the alternatives would be what? So you could go for a fast Twilight Council to do a quick all-in, perhaps, get a Twilight and get Glaives or Charge, and then get a Robo.
Yep.
So that would be one option. Or I guess if you get a fast Robo, there would be potential for maybe Immortal builds. Maybe that could be good. So we'll have to see if Zerg, or what Zergs do differently with the new change.
Yeah, I mean, I just total spitballing out of my ass theory crafting.
Oh, actually, as we say that, there actually is
oh my gosh.
happening.
Here we go. Loads them up.
Totally,
Does
we're not
Trap
paying
know?
No,
is there? Yeah, I know. Is there any reason for Trap to suspect?
Yes,
I don't think he knows.
He has no idea, and he doesn't have any vision here, so this is going to catch him totally off guard. This is going to do a lot of damage. And we see this actually
man.
16 more Zerglings in production is totally an all-in. Okay.
Denizens of Skreddit, avert your eyes. The Lings flood into the main. There's absolutely nothing here. I'm not even sure that there's one Adept at home. The Oracle's still building. He went Phoenix first again, which means that he doesn't have anything to defend this. Oh my gosh, is he going to beat the Oracle? He is. That is going to go down. That is brutal. So there's 2 Adepts. He did basically sack all of his Lings to get that pylon, but he's going to be flooding in more now. The shield battery hasn't even finished.
Yeah.
So that's going to be out of energy by the time that these Adepts...
a lot of Zerglings not attacking. One important thing when you're attacking these walls is you really want to get every Zergling doing its damage, because they're going to keep re-walling, and so you have to take down all the buildings. Oh, is this Warp Gate going to finish? Oh, yes,
I think that it probably will, yes, but now it's just going to be a shield battery, 2 Adepts, and a Dream. I guess that he can... Oh, man, so the Warp Gate actually didn't warp in before he could warp in a Sentry or something along those lines.
Yeah.
So it's just going to be all Zealots for the rest of this hold. Zealots and Oracles. The Lings are going to go home.
But the Oracles are really good. See, the issue is, I think if Losira had all his Lings attacking, he could have taken down this gateway basically by the same time. Or maybe, in fact, sooner, because the shield battery had to heal up that Cybercore to keep it alive as long as it did. And if he'd taken that down, then I think he could likely have gotten a bunch of Lings in and done a ton of damage. But instead, those Lings were just, running back and forth doing nothing.
Yeah, as it stands, they're actually pretty even.
Yeah, but at the same time, Losira, at this point, around 40 is maybe when they should be equal, and Losira is, significantly overtaking. And the fact that the Cybercore is so late means that there's really going to be no potential for damage except from Oracles. So as long as Losira builds Queens and Spores, he should be able to very safely drone up quickly to, pretty high number, and I think that's going to put him in a good position in this game.
Yeah, you're right. And also not being able to build cybercore units makes it basically impossible to hold that third to the south. So he has to get the pocket third, which obviously is fewer mineral patches. He can do some damage maybe with this Oracle Phoenix thing. He's grabbed 2 workers already. Nothing at this third, I guess, because it's completely unsaturated after the all-in. Moving into Robotech this time instead of going into the storms and charge lots. So I guess maybe he's anticipating a lurker switch again.
Yeah, I mean, so Losira's drone count hasn't skyrocketed as fast as I kind of anticipated it going. He chose to get a bunch of tech with the Hydras and +1 attack and range and all. So that'll be useful getting the lurkers. So yes, this is very fast lurkers. So it looks like he's going to probably go all in again off 3 bases instead of trying to get a big economy off that advantage. So that is, I think these lurkers are going to hit a lot earlier relative to Trap's game plan than they did before. Losing that Phoenix kind of hurts, but he is getting a good number of drones here.
I was about to say losing the Phoenix hurts. Oh my gosh, losing that Oracle, that's no longer worth it. That's pretty rough. I mean, I guess he does have the 2 Oracles left, so he can still fly in and do a little bit of damage, but and they're basically just going to be utility.
So he's seen the
he has no idea about
the
lurker den.
But he might be able to guess from the Hydra den that the lurkers are coming. We do see the Immortals going and the High Templar den coming in.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, he's responding to lurkers at this point. But he's gonna have to turtle for a while. He's just not gonna have the tech to deal with it. He's getting charge again. Did he make 4 Oracles? Wow, what the heck? Wow.
Yeah,
all right.
Yes, he did.
Because he lost 1 and now he's got 3 here. And he actually kills a decent amount of drones. The worker counts are basically even, which is interesting.
So so Losira's drone count isn't great, although he's going to build that up again. But the key difference to note is last game it was a very prolonged defense, but Trap did that defense on 4 bases. This game he's going to have a much harder time getting the 4th base. And I think even if he does try to, I think it's very unlikely that he's going to be able to hold a 4th base from the first lurker push.
Yep.
So it looks like it's going to end up with sort of 4 bases to 3. And that's going to make it much harder for Trap to kind of build up that high-tech army and trade efficiently against the Hydra Lurker army that Losira is going to be pushing in. And there's, I think, a very good risk that Losira could just sort of slow push in, kill this wall and all, and just kind of slowly win the game.
Yep, absolutely. Also, another I don't remember, but I think that upgrades were relatively even last game, and this time Trap is like 3/4 finished +1, but +2 is halfway finished for Losira, which is going to be pretty rough.
Yeah.
Losira's he's going to reach that 80 drone mark pretty soon. He's got 10 more on the way. He's going to be 70 by the end of this thing. He'll be churning along on 4 bases while Trap is basically just stuck in his base. He can't move out because he doesn't have the army to deal with anything that Trap could do. He's actually going to try to. This is going to trigger probably a move out by Losira, I would imagine.
Yeah, it looks like Losira is trying to clear out some rocks to get a quicker reinforcement path from this 4th base here.
By the way, 5 Dropper Lords morphing in, I think the upper right.
Yep.
So I think Losira has a pretty clear game plan in ZvP.
Yeah, it definitely looks like that. So
Trap also favoring more Oracles, which is interesting.
Yeah, but the supply gap is a lot bigger than it was before. So I don't know. It's unclear if I think Trap's gonna have a much harder time defending this game than he did last game, and it was already kind of close last game. There are no lurkers yet though, so he's just gonna be dropping Hydras. He's gonna have to morph some lurkers at some point. With how fast he got that lurker den, it feels like kind of a waste to be just going around doing nothing for so long without actually using the lurkers.
It's really odd. So Trap has 3 Oracles out right now, and part of the point of Oracles is that having to cancel that because this has been snuffed out already. Part of the point of having those Oracles is that you can run around the map and catch drops before they make it to your base, and at least be aware of them.
Well, this is not a good time for Trap to push out.
Yeah, seriously. Well, as I was saying, it's like the whole point of the Oracles is, okay, so he's stuck in his base, but at least he has some idea of what's happening on the map, right? But Losira has kind of snuck this drop up to the north, and there'd be no reason for Trap to scout up there. Looks like he finally found it with that Phoenix.
Did he?
Maybe. Did he?
I don't think he
geez.
I don't think
he's
he
still
noticed.
patrolling.
Now he should
now
really
he'll
see
see
this.
it.
Yeah, he saw that.
Yeah, Losira should move. Okay, so now he's where, which is good that the game doesn't just end because of this.
Yes.
But Losira almost managed to sneak this drop up there.
This is a lot of lurkers coming into the 4th.
This is a lot of lurkers.
Oh,
This is going to be a
stasis
really
wards.
tough split to make for Trap. He's resorting to stasis wards and 2 immortals to hold all of this off. I guess he's got a cannon and shield battery also. Meanwhile, at the third base, there's 5 immortals, 1 sentry, and then a heckload of cannons and shield batteries. But man, that's a lot of lurkers. That's a lot of hydralisks. I'm not sure he's going to be able to hold. The charge lots coming in are just going to get shredded by the lurkers immediately. At the same time, he's lost the fight in the main base. Finally, some storms coming in, but there's
alive here, and the down to 3 immortals and a bunch of storms. So he actually
and Losira. Oh my gosh. Okay, he managed to grab both of those immortals, but this main base is being absolutely ravaged. The 14 workers down. You
He's
can't
gonna drop over to the to this base now, and these Archons are gonna have a hard time getting over here.
Yeah, absolutely. I was about to say that he lost all of his tech.
Oh,
but
those
then,
Oracles just
Trap managed to grab all of
suiciding
it.
themselves there. That's not great. And now the Hydras just fly away. Meanwhile, he's sort of slowly sieging up on the third. Now gets these lurkers within range, and this fourth rather is going to die basically immediately now. So this is looking really rough for Trap. Way down in supply.
This has got to feel just really nasty as Trap.
Yeah. Especially to lose to the same strategy that you just beat, you know?
Yeah, I know. And when you have oracles on the map that could theoretically scout something like this.
But this does also say a lot for Losira's confidence in his strategy, that he loses with it and then immediately does the exact same thing again.
Yeah.
So he must have practiced this a bunch, and clearly he's got, you know, a good ability to win with this, even if last game he didn't. So
yeah, holy cow, he just walked straight through storms there, by the way. Just ate him about as hard as he possibly could. I guess maybe not the best idea, because he lost almost all of his Hydras, but he's still in the base. Trap is still scrambling. He's got 30 workers in total. His immortal count has decreased to 3 now, and they're all very low, being juggled. Now it looks like it's 2 as one falls. It is one of those things where you kind of frustration juggle, and
GG.
and then you GG.
Yeah. So
game 2 goes to Losira.
Does tie up the series with a comeback with the exact same strategy. So I'm curious to see if he's going to do yet the same thing again in game 3 or not.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I'm pretty excited. Let's pull it up. Alrighty, so yeah, the question for this game I think is going to be whether Losira goes for the same exact style. I mean, he didn't do the exact same build, because obviously he did the Ling drop on Neon Violet Square, and the Ling drop was pretty important because it forced Trap to kind of stay turtling in his base, and in a lot of ways that was the difference between the first and second game.
Yeah, for sure.
So I cannot imagine that you would Ling drop in game 3 and then do the exact same thing.
Although this is a pretty decent map for Ling drops.
Yeah,
see this, Ezra? You know why this is here?
Because that's where Lings drop.
Yep.
That's the runway to receive the Lings.
See, they've even got the little runway lights to guide the Overlord in on their final approach.
Just another example of Blizzard just really favoring the Zergs.
Yep. Except the issue is they actually hate Zerg, because look at this. It's immune to creep. How are you supposed to play with these things?
You can't.
Do you think you get the creep speed right here? Probably not.
How amazing would it be if you actually didn't? That could make a difference in a game.
Did you know that roaches and hydras, if they attack from right next to a unit, they actually do a melee attack, and so it's no longer affected by Guardian Shield?
Oh, is that true?
Yep.
I mean, I knew it was a different animation, but I did not know that. Is that a real fact? Did you just make that up?
No, totally real. Look it up.
That's a real fact. I'm not going to look it up, Ben. I will trust you instead.
Okay. We see.
Standard
opening
thing.
builds. Yep.
Nothing Trap's going to do the same thing. I wonder. Trap really loves going for multiple oracles, flying him in with the Phoenix and trying to kill as many drones as possible. It hasn't been super effective the last 2 games.
I just have to say, by the way, I love these little things that come up, like, having one Phoenix to lift up the Queen when the oracles come in. Like 5 years ago, people weren't doing all these, complicated little. There are these like fancy little tricks that have just become totally commonplace. And I think it's really cool to see how StarCraft 2 has evolved.
Well, as I was saying to you before we started recording, I was watching a video from 2012 of the Blizzard Cup between Liquid Hero and Leenock, and at one point Liquid Hero brings in 1 warp prism, and he warps in like 3 zealots, and then all the zealots are killed and the warp prism dies immediately. And the comment that Wolf had, shout out to Wolf, was, "And the aggression fails." And it was like, back then, the one warp prism coming into the main was like a big deal.
Remember what you were saying about lane drops, Ezra?
Oh. Oh boy.
Yeah, we see the 8-lings. Oh, this. I think that probe did see it. I'm pretty sure the probe. If I didn't know which hotkey it was, so I wasn't able to check the vision fast enough. But I'm pretty sure that probe knows.
Can you throw down the scores real quick for Trap's sake? I really hope that he saw it, because how frustrating would it be to face Hydra drops and lurkers 3 games in a row, including 2 link drops. Okay,
dropping the vision, but not quite fast enough.
Oh,
and he only puts the pylon. I really thought he saw that, but maybe he didn't, or he didn't realize. Because he's going to get told, and it's the same thing. We see the Ling Flood coming out.
Oh man, he needs to build some shield batteries there ASAP. He's just adding more and more gateways. Oh man. Oh, the Lings are in the main.
Oh, there is an Oracle here. That's helpful.
There is an Oracle, which is nice. And he does have 3 Adepts home this time. I think that he only had 2 last time. This is still going to be tricky. He's starting a shield battery in the main. That Oracle is just... I know that Oracles kill Lings quickly, but it's very frustrating to have
Oracle's
an Oracle just running around your main. Running out of energy, not doing anything at all. Lost Mining Time is annoying here. It looks like he is going to hold at the front at least with the shield batteries. He's not losing his Cyber Core as quickly this time, which is nice.
Well, he's losing it pretty quickly.
He's not gonna. Oh my gosh! Again, we see the Chrono Boost on the Warp Gate. Another raise.
He'll get it, I think. Well.
Wow,
that was very
close. He does get it once again.
Oh, but that's not a wall.
Just barely gets it, but that's not a wall, and the Lings are coming through, and
Lings are leaving.
Yeah, just the lost mining time from this has got to be so frustrating.
Because Losira's been droning up. He's caught up on the working hand. He's got 7 more in production. And he killed the Cyber Core again, and again there's no real... there's only 3 Adepts. And it's going to be a long time before there's any more of them.
So, the difference between this and the last game is that he can't take that pocket third, so he's going to have to find a way to venture out to that third base to the left of his
Look at
natural.
this leg micro. Did you see that?
Well, look at Losira's at around 600 APM, where he was right before I started saying that. Losira, obviously famous back in the day for having like insanely high APM.
Yeah, he used to be a piano player. Did you know that?
I did not know that. Is that true?
Yeah,
is that a real fact?
Totally true.
That's cool. I'm sure he was amazing. But it means that you can do weird stutter step ling micro like that. Yeah. Or you can just suicide them into 2 zealots, I guess. So I guess that the next stage of this... Wow, that's graphic.
Oh, meanwhile, 2 drones die and an Oracle nearly dies. 1 shot away. Does survive, though.
Yeah, that would have been the most frustrating thing of all time for Trap.
This is totally a 2-base all-in, by the way.
Oh, you know what? You're totally right. Because I guess he can't venture out and take that third because... He just doesn't have the backbone for it.
Yeah. So Losira's got up to 60 workers, which normally getting 60 workers against a 2-base Protoss all in.
You know.
Oh wait, is he actually?
He is venturing out to take up there. Well, this is interesting.
Sitting on 40 workers for so long, getting 1 million gateways and glaives, and then he's got like 8 gateways and glaive adepts, and that's not a 2-base all in, really?
Yeah, he's not starting a forge for upgrades, so he'll be losing that front pretty hard. Oh, this is going to be brutal because Losira has +1 range starting
almost,
and like 3/4 finished. Forge hasn't even been started for Trap. This third is tenuous, but if he can stabilize here, then it becomes a real game, and then we can get into something beyond.
So this is going to be a big. So there aren't any banelings. Okay, so Losira scouts that, so that's important. So he knows that he needs to build a bunch of units, and really you want the banelings here, but he's going to have the Hydras out, and he has a lot of queens. But this is
that Hydra that Nexus is almost like a placeholder Nexus, I guess. Mm-hmm. Interesting shade because now he can't shade anymore for a while. Mm-hmm. But with the Phoenix pickups and the Oracles helping out, this is actually doing pretty well.
Yeah,
he's eliminating the queens. Now actually all of the queens are dead. Losira's pulling drones. This is looking pretty dire. Tons of adepts. They're shading in. They're killing so many workers. He's going to even up the worker count in a second. Warp Prism dies, which is pretty annoying, but he can shade into the main and start killing even more workers. And he's actually going to be up workers by the end of this attack. Not to mention all the army that he's going to kill off. In the background, though, Trap has cut probe production completely and is still just pumping out adepts. So I think that he's just going to bring another Warp Prism and just start attacking again. Yep, he's warping in some back home. going to start walking forwards. He's really going for the kill
he
here.
needs to not shade these in. Okay.
Yeah.
The Hydra count has really increased now, and there's already range, and he's working on speed, killing these rocks even. So I'm not sure. I think the next attack is not going to, because he was able to attack just as the Hydras were coming out, and that's what gave him any chance of working. And now this is a lot of adepts, but with the Hydra count already here, this is going to be difficult. Losira should not be going down that ramp though.
Yeah, he just sacrificed the concave. Okay, because Losira should know that the onus is on trap to attack at this point. Okay, he's going to shade up to the top. It's just a weird mess of adepts and Hydras, but it looks like the adepts are going to punch through. Oh man, this is actually pretty bad for Losira. He's probably going to lose this game. He's actually down 20 supply.
Yeah.
Basically even worker counts, but the army supply is way bigger for trap. I guess I guess his adaptation to the Ling drop this time was to kind of hold it and then just all in right after.
Yeah.
GG, Trap wins. He's going to move on. He's going to bump Losira down to the losers bracket.
Yeah, that was, I think, just the lack of Banelings there, I think, is the key thing. You got to have Banelings against that many adepts. And with so many drones this, late in the game, he totally could have afforded them. But he just committed to a bunch of Hydras and it did not pay off.
Yep. Well, that's the end of the series. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We're going to actually post a few other series at the same time as this one, so please go look at the link that is on the screen right now if you would like to, and keep watching. Have a good day.